This isn't what I want. Oh, okay. Ah, oh, there she is.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi.
Oh, nice. Kevin, hi Kevin. Is that Kevin joining us or
No, it's Kate. It's Kate.
is, is there a Kevin online? Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Who's joining us?
Actually, it's Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm okay. Happy New Year to you too. I'm using my husband's computer and I didn't know how to
Yeah,
change the participant's name.
that's okay. And we recognize your voice. Rose is like, I think I know that Kate.
Yeah, it's her neighbor, Kate.
I'm so glad you joined us. Wonderful.
Well, I was afraid to come in person because I'm not sure how well I'll do, but I figured I'd try it at home first.
That's perfectly okay. But of course, no judgments here in this space. So
I know.
feel free to join anytime.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and I just need to do one thing. Sometimes we have our friend from Argentina joining us, but I don't know if she's going to make it today.
Hi, Joe.
I'm going to go ahead and just hit mute, Kate. So that way there's no background noise from your side that comes in. If you do the small button, Pam, do this small little square, that one, and then those lights, just a little ambient lighting. And then, yeah, if you want the fans off, you push.
Nancy,
How you doing?
good.
How'd you feel after last night?
Well, I'm sore from yesterday because I haven't done anything for like a month, but I did have a good night's sleep.
Good. Good. Love hearing that.
Mostly all the way through the night.
Leo came to my restorative yoga class last night at Love. So grateful. Learning the art of stillness.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part of that class. All right, I know it's 1:30. I apologize. So
it's a little bit different. And it would be like, but I do want to check the cross one off. One. I don't want to, I don't want to send it, but usually once. Okay. She's got, yeah. And then I was thinking, balls, I don't know if Sue's got balls in her bag, or I don't know. But I know they have. This week for that. Oh, hi.
Nancy,
I'm Donna.
Donna, you've come before?
Never last year. Last year I came. Yes.
The face and all that, and the voice, I don't know, all of a sudden it triggered, I was like, I think
The Bostonian accent.
yep. Oh.
27 years.
All right, so we'll start in a seat this morning. And welcome back. I haven't seen you for a while. What's your first name again?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So starting in a seat. So Donna, instead of perching up fully, see if you can allow your sits bones. So this takes some effort to hold yourself up like that. If you come forward just a little bit and allow your pelvis, your pelvic area to tilt forward, maybe the knees will drop down. And we find that it doesn't take as much effort to hold ourselves up. Alternately, if you cross the legs and the knees aren't going down, you can use the blocks under the thighs and knees like that, and you're still able then to rest, let those blocks support you so that, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you feel that? Yeah, yeah. So that you're ideally finding a tall spine and sitting without much effort. Then go ahead and just allow the eyes to soften a little bit, or the gaze to just close. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Big sigh out through the mouth. Starting this new year by breathing in to the newness, embracing infinite possibilities, and looking toward your practice to maybe be a guiding light on your journey into this new year. So in this class, yoga and meditation, we move a little bit, get some movement going so that our nervous system triggers more to allow the parasympathetic system to take over. Part of meditation is being still, being in stillness. And since we're used to moving all the time, we've got that down pretty good. But it takes a little practice to be still. So ideally, when we come to that part of the practice today of our meditation, that you're finding a seat that you can be still in, or if you prefer to be on your back for your meditation. But even on your back, sometimes it's hard to be still. So we'll take just a few minutes here in this opening to ground, to feel our sits bones root down. Start to just shed any part of the day that has occurred so far. That allows you to be present, to be here. Pema Chodron, the Buddhist teacher, has a quote. I think it relates nicely to the new year. She says, "Now is the only time." we relate to it creates the future. What we do accumulates. The future is the result of what we do right now. So being present helps to let the next moment unfold, and then the next moment. Tuning into our breath helps the following moments unfold. So just being here for these next couple of moments, tuning into your natural breath, not manipulating it in any way, just listening to it. Just notice if any areas of the body shifted slightly from the moment you took your seat. You notice if there's a softening anywhere. Could be just super subtle, or maybe it is profound. And then let's bring our hands together. Anjali Mudra, tips of thumbs gently resting against the heart space, an opportunity to just feel that connection with our heart space. And as you set your intention, think of a word that maybe embodies what you want to take into the new year. A virtue, maybe, or it could be as simple as just breath. But a word that maybe creates a little spark in that heart space, that resonates. Just silently say that word to yourself a few times. Feeling it into your heart. Take a moment to breathe in some gratitude. Thank yourself for being here. I thank you for being here. It brings me so much joy to see so many opening themselves up to this practice. We open with the sound of Om. Take a full breath in and exhale it out any way you want, through the nose or out through the mouth. And then we'll Om on the next exhale. And just start to flicker the eyes open, letting light back in, coming back to the space, awareness. Let's start out on our backs. So coming to the back, having the feet on the mat, your feet and your knees hip distance apart. Hug the right knee into your chest and release the fingers over the shin or behind the right thigh, whichever, and just roll that foot around a little bit. One direction a few times and then reverse it the other direction. And then let's do some circles with the hip. Take your left hand, place it on your left hip, just to help that side stay rooted. And then let your right hand guide that right knee out to the side, circling it in. Another big circle this direction. When you come back with it toward your chest, reverse that circle, take it the other way. And then come back to center, interlace the fingers behind the thigh, and then 5 pumps, just gently extending the right leg up to the sky. Re-bend the knee. Inhale as you lengthen, and exhale as you bend. 3 more, moving at your own breath, your own pace, and just feeling any sensations that are going on in that leg. 1 more time. And then hugging that knee into the chest And figure 4 now. So turn this right knee out to the side as you rest the right ankle bone on the left thigh and just push past that thigh a little bit. Flex your right foot. Take your right hand, gently press the inside of that right knee away from you. So you feel a stretch in that outer hip flexor on the right side. Both sits bones grounded, the back pressing into the floor. If you'd like to deepen this, you can stay here. Option to lift the left leg, interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. If you're lifting that left leg, flex that foot and then draw the legs toward your chest. And breathe. Maybe when you get to an edge, take an inhale and then move past that edge slightly on your exhale. One more breath in, maybe straighten that left leg for a breath. Rebend it, drop that left foot down to the floor, and then we're gonna come into a spinal twist. So stay in your figure 4 and start to drop the right foot down to the floor on this left side. The outside of that right ankle bracing against the left knee. And then right arm extends out in line with the shoulder. Palm stay set. So in addition to this being a twist, it's also a good stretch for the IT band. So if you're feeling that on this left side, this area from right back of the glute down the leg a little bit, not fully in the back, but kind of on the side. If you feel that tightness there, our lovely IT band. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath in and out. And the next inhale, we'll rock back to neutral on our backs. Hug both knees into the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side, massaging out the sacrum, feeling the whole back in contact with the mat. Dropping the right foot down. We'll start, just interlace the fingers over your knee or shin and roll that left foot around a few times, one direction, and reverse it. And then we'll take those circles with the hip, with the knee, so guide that left knee all the way out to the side, bringing it in towards center. Another circle this direction, keeping that right hand on right hip to help you stay grounded, and then reverse that circle, take it the other way. Coming back to center, interlace the fingers behind that left thigh, and then extend the leg up to the ceiling on your inhale, and exhale, rebend the knee. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, rebend the knee. 3 more. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, rebend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rebend. One more. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, rebend. And then we'll come into that figure 4 on this side. So take that left knee out, left outside ankle, resting on the right side, just past the right thigh a little bit. Flex that left foot. Left hand pressing to the inside of the left knee. Just breathing in, outer hip flexor, getting some stretching here. Option to stay here or lifting that right leg, interlace the fingers behind the right drawing the legs toward the chest. And maybe it's just for a breath. And then if it's too deep, if you're not able to maintain a full breath, come back to just pressing the hand and working the stretch that way. And then maybe straightening that right leg up to the sky for a breath. Bringing it back down. And then drop that right foot down to the mat. We'll take the twist on this side. So rotate that left foot, sole of the left foot, dropping to the floor. The body rolls a little bit to the right side and then extend that left arm straight out from the shoulder, in line with the shoulder, palm face up. And that left foot is acting like an anchor. Maybe even wrap the right fingers around that left ankle to help keep it in place. That right kind of thigh, knee area is bracing against it. And this side might feel entirely different than the other side. I know for me, my right side, my IT band is real tight, so I feel it much more on the other side. We always favor one side over the other, but our yoga practice helps us find balance. Find balance in the body through our physical practice, with our meditation practice, in our mind, and all tools that we can use off the mat. One more breath in and out, and then rocking the legs back to neutral. We'll hug the knees into the chest, bring the forehead up toward the knees, find a lengthening in the back of the neck. Breathe into that space. Feel your abdominal muscles squeezing a little bit here. One more. Inhale and exhale the head back down. We're going to come up to a seat, into tabletop. Two options, either rolling to your right side and then circling your way up, or maybe rocking forward and back. The spinal roll here, massaging the spine, getting enough momentum to come up, cross at the ankles, roll forward, and finding tabletop. Taking a few moments to find your alignment here. Your knees are under your hips. Your elbows and your wrists are in line with your shoulders. Fingers are spread. And now bring awareness, breathe into your navel. Draw the navel in toward your spine to find a neutral spine. Keep that engagement as we lift the crown of the head, tilt the tailbone up for cow pose, opening across the collarbones and the heart space, and then exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone, chin toward chest, cat pose. Inhaling into cow, and exhale into cat. Two more rounds. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. One more. Move with your breath. Letting your breath be your guide. Rounding into cat. And then come back to neutral. And lift the right leg up, hip height. Float the left arm up, finding a spinal balance. We'll flow here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw your elbow to your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee, and we'll lengthen. Keep the right leg lifted. Drop the left hand down. And now cross that right leg behind you. Drop the toe down to the floor. So before we move deeper into the twist, I want you you to bring awareness to your shoulders and your chest. Hollow the chest out a little bit. Keep the shoulders squared. And now turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Maybe catch a glimpse of your big toe. So notice when you maintain the shoulders being squared and the chest not collapsing, then you're lengthening that whole right side. So Donna, try not to let that right shoulder drop down. Yeah, just turn the head. It might not go all the way, and that's okay. It gives you somewhere to work toward. And then come back to neutral, that right leg, the knee comes back down. Child's pose in between. Take your knees as wide as your mat, toes to touch, dropping seat toward heels. Reaching the arms out in front and letting the chest, forehead drop down. If it's not comfortable to drop all the way down, slide a block underneath your forehead. And breathe. So our props are our friends in yoga. Never ever think that you're doing a pose less than just because you're using a prop. A couple more breaths just to surrender a little bit more deeply into this child's pose. Really feel the breath, expand the rib cage. Find its way to the back side, the middle of your back, low back. And then next inhale, we'll lift up to tabletop, bringing the knees back under the hips and taking our spinal balance on the other side. Extend that left leg lifted up, hip height. So we're leveling our hips, flip your right arm up. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. We've got one more. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Drop that right hand down. Cross the left leg behind you. So notice what happens when we cross that. Instantly, our chest starts to lower. Lift it up. Hollow it out, square your shoulders, maybe even lifting the chest a little bit, engage in the belly, then look over that right shoulder to catch a glimpse of the big toe, and notice how that deepens that side stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice adjustments. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath in and out, and then float that leg. Come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Lift your shins and knees about an inch off the mat, and then push back, like you're pushing back to child's pose. Widen your sits bones and then straighten the legs, lifting them to bring you into downward facing dog. Pushing the belly back toward the thighs. Bring awareness to your shoulders. If you feel like your shoulders are moving towards your ears, try and draw them back and broaden across the upper part of the back. Can you maybe energetically hide your armpits from your neighbor? And it's okay to have heels lifted, maybe even move a little bit here, drop one heel, bend the other knee, pedal out your downward dog. And then let's come up high on our toes. Lift your heels. Bend your knees about where you're halfway. And now tilt your tailbone up toward the sky. Then straighten the legs. Let the heels drop where they will. One more time, lift those heels up, bend your knees where you're coming about halfway down, tilt your tailbone up toward the sky like we do in cow pose, then straighten the legs, let the heels drop down toward the earth. Lift your gaze, look between your hands and walk your feet up to the top of the mat, one footprint at a time, and inhale to a half lift. So you're coming up halfway, fingertips resting on the knees. And if you feel rounding in the back, find a neutral spine. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Feel lengthening from your tailbone out through the crown of the head. Now float the arms out to the sides, where you're reaching the arms in opposite direction, as if the fingertips are touching the opposite walls. Notice the engagement in the belly that's needed for this. And now soften the knees, lift the upper body, straighten the legs, float the arms overhead, palms touch, draw them down to your heart center. Pausing here, one hand over the heart, one hand to the low belly. Let the arms soften. Close the eyes. Feel your feet rooting down into the earth. Standing Shavasana. Empty the breath all the way out. Inhale and pause at the top. Pause until you feel the need to exhale. When you get to the bottom, pause at the bottom until you feel the need to inhale. And just repeat that a few times. So inhaling, pausing at the top. Exhale when you need to. Empty the breath all the way out, pausing. Inhale when you need to take that breath. One more pause at the top. Then empty the breath all the way out. Let the hands float alongside, eyes flicker open, and inhale. Take a big inhale as you sweep the arms overhead. We're going to dive forward, hinging at the hips. Lead with the heart to come into forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, take your blocks, frame your feet so they're on either side of your feet. Bend your knees and shoot your right leg back, and then drop the knee down. Lift your blocks to the highest. Come up on your fingertips so you feel your chest leaning forward, and then deepen the bend in this left knee a little bit, sinking the pelvis toward the floor. Big stretch for the right quad muscle, for our psoas. Full breath in. And then on your exhale, shift back. Bring the blocks under your shoulders, and then come up on your left heel, flexing those left toes. So this might be deep enough for you. Big hamstring stretch. Our right hip in line with right knee. Or maybe with each exhale, lead with the heart as you hinge forward. Stay upright now. That's okay. Can you pick up on the heel there? Just flex it. Very good. Beautiful. Right there. Right there. And then pull. That's breathe into the calf. They're not sitting back in this pose, but hinging forward. And then inhale to rise back up, rock onto the sole of that left foot, frame your left foot again, tuck your right toes under and lift that right knee up. And then we're gonna twist here, keep your right hand on the block, lift that left arm up. So stay strong in the right leg. Lengthening that right leg, left knee. Beautiful. Root down through the sole of that left foot. One more inhale, and then exhale that left hand down. Push off your right foot to step it forward. And inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Yogi's choice to come up to stand. So that looks like either bending the knees and rolling up, or come up halfway and then soften the knees like we did before, lift the upper body. Or it might look like straight legs, flat back, loading up. We meet with hands at heart center. Tadasana for a reset breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, float the arms overhead. And exhale, dive forward. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, hands to blocks. We're stepping the left leg back this time for that low lunge, and then drop the left knee. Blocks come to the highest as we deepen that bend in the right knee, sinking down, but heart lifted. Full breath in. Full breath out. Next, inhale, shift the hips, blocks under the shoulders, flip those right toes up so you're resting on the heel, keeping the left hip in line with left knee, staying there or hinging forward. And just keeping in mind that we don't want to round into it, so yeah, just flip those toes up. Yeah. And try not to sit back. Okay, let's move forward a little bit. Scoot your heel forward just a stitch. Then hinge. Oh yeah. Breathing into that hamstring. I know it's talking to you. One more breath in. And out. And then inhale to float up. Rock onto the right foot. Blocks, frame that right foot. Tuck the left toes under. And then left hand stays on the block as we lift the right arm up. Twisting to the right. Right fingertips reaching up. Right hand facing this emergency exit. So try not to spiral too much. We're just opening up the right side of the chest. Beautiful, everyone. Keeping that concentration, that awareness on your breath. And then lower back down. Drop your knees down. Move the blocks to the side. Lean forward so shoulders come past the wrists. Hug the elbows in and lower all the way down to the belly, and then scoot your arms forward. So I'll turn this way. We're going to find Sphinx pose. So wrap your fingers around your elbows. So come up on your elbows and then wrap your fingers around them. And that's the distance that you want to keep your elbows at. And then bring your forearms and hands back to the floor mat. And then look down. Your elbow creases should be slightly in front of your shoulder. So if they're directly under, move your arms forward a little bit. So Donna, you can move your arms forward just a little bit. Because you want to, instead of being here, which is going to cause stress on the shoulders. If they're forward, we get a little lift in the heart space. Spread your legs a comfortable distance apart where you feel tension leave the low back area. Press the thighs into the mat. Lengthen through the low back. Your gaze is just ahead of your fingertips so that you're not cranking too hard on the neck, but the neck is a beautiful extension of the spine. A gentle pressure into the forearms, energetically pulling back to help the chest lift a little bit more. Shining beautiful light out from your heart space. If you feel any clenching or gripping in the low back, push the thighs into the mat. One more breath in, and then exhale, lower down and make a pillow with your hands. Let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands, elbows out to the sides, and then just gently rock the hips from side to side, releasing that low back area. Bend the knees and slowly windshield wiper the legs from side to side. One of my favorite quotes, "It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." Do I have any other little Prince fans? Lower the legs, roll onto your back. Hug the knees in, rock a little bit from side to side. Lowering the feet to the mat, and we're going to do a supported bridge, and then we're going to bring the legs up for a supported shoulder stand, and then we'll lower and extend the legs for a psoas stretch. So grab your block, press into your feet to lift your hips up, and then slide the block under at either the lowest or the middle height if you're able to get the back further off the mat. But you don't have to push yourself. You can just allow this to be a very gentle back bend and have the block at the lowest height. And it should be under the bony part of the back. Beautiful. And try and have the feet in line with the knees and hips. So if your feet are as wide as your mat, walk them in toward each other a little bit. And then arms coming out to the sides, flipping the palms up a little bit lower than shoulder height. So you should feel as if you can just let body weight fall into the block. Bringing that word that you cultivated at the start of practice, silently repeating it to yourself a few more times. This beautiful heart opener, sealing it into your heart space. And we're going to transition into this supported shoulder stand. So lift one leg up at a time to 90 degrees. So the knees are bent at a 90-degree angle as a checkpoint Make sure that your back is still feeling supported, and then extend one leg up at a time. Staying here for about a minute. Bringing the mudra to your hands, where you bring the index finger just under the tip of your thumb and extend your third or fifth fingers out long. Backs of the arms on the floor, backs of the hands on the floor. And at any point, if the straight legs is too much, you can bend the knees back to 90 degrees. You're welcome. And this mudra, it's the Jnana mudra, represents wisdom and clarity. Notice the direct path from your fingers up the arms to your heart space. Inversions also help reverse the circulation, help shift our perceptions a little. Taking one more breath here. Slowly lower, bending the knees. And then coming into this psoas stretch. So your feet come down to the floor. The blocks at the lowest. Extend one leg out so your heels are coming to the mat. Adjust the block as you need to so you feel that full support under the sacrum, and then float the arms overhead. Extending and lengthening from our hip joints down the legs. The weight of our body surrenders into this block. Notice where you're trying to hold yourself up and soften. So our psoas muscle, this big muscle that wraps around our pelvis, our whole pelvic area, connects our spine to our legs. The muscle responsible for us walking. Being able to walk. This psoas muscle, it serves us in so many ways, but it can also store a lot of tension. It can also be the culprit of tight hips, tight hamstrings, tight quads, knee pain. So when we can move our psoas muscle into a less contracted state, we're helping the well-being of that whole area. Our well-being, our immune system, our digestive system, circulatory system. One more breath in, side out, let it go. Bringing the arms down to the sides. Bring one foot in at a time. Press into your feet to lift your hips off the block. Lower slowly down. Heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. A comfortable distance between your heels and your sits bones. You might move your feet away from your sits bones a little bit. Bring your hands to your belly and softly let the thighs and the knees fall together. And we'll begin to move into relaxation, the breathing technique where we inhale through the nose. We softly blow out through an imaginary straw out our mouth. So inhaling into the nose. pursing the lips to slowly exhale through an imaginary straw. With each exhale, try and lengthen the exhale a little bit more each round. Just continuing until you feel the natural inclination to move to a natural breath. Softening into this constructive rest pose. We'll be here for a few minutes. Just allow the effects of all that movement to settle. For you to find stillness on your backs before we come to a seat to practice our meditation. Maybe silently repeating the word that you chose for this new year a few times to yourself. We practice the constructive rest. It helps our belly to soften, our inner groin muscles to soften, the psoas muscle to soften. Zero effort in the legs, in the belly. Softening the brow, the muscles in the face, the jaw, let the tongue drop away from the roof of your mouth. And we'll begin to deepen the breath. Notice the rise and fall of the belly, the chest, with each round of breath as you deepen it. And then separate your knees. With your feet as wide as the mat, let the knees drop over to the right and float the arms overhead on your inhale. Take a full exhale. Next, inhale, draw the knees back to center, bring the arms back alongside. And on your exhale, drop the knees to the other side and float the arms overhead. One more time each side. Inhale the knees to center, bringing the arms alongside. And exhale, drop them over to the other side. Feet are as wide as your mat still so that the knee has space to fall to the inside of the other foot. Exhale the breath out as you come through center. Drop the knees over to the other side. Float the arms overhead. Inhale. And then exhale back to center, hugging the knees into the chest and rolling to your right side. Allow yourself a pause on your right side. Slowly making your way up to a seat, choosing your seat for meditation. So pulling in the prop, sitting maybe as we began, or there's also hero's pose where you can stack 2 blocks, 1 or 2 blocks. Bring the ankles on either side of it. Sitting squarely on the top block. So with any seat you choose, bringing awareness to your spine, allowing the spine to grow tall. Settling into stillness. And then introducing a mantra to you called hum. It's hum sa. So we can say it aloud a few times and then we'll move into silence and stillness. So on your inhale, hum sa. Inhale in. Sa. Sa. Continue on your own silently. It translates to I am. I am that. Repeat it as many times as you need to move into this silent space. The thoughts come, acknowledge them, and then let them pass by, returning to that mantra. Letting your breath come to a natural state. And really bringing awareness to the middle of your brain. Coming to your natural breath of inhaling and exhaling through the nose. starting to deepen your breath. Bringing your hands to your heart center, and back to more awareness, soft of the head towards your space. Truth. There is no good or bad meditation. Just an unfolding of your inner awareness and your relationship to the self. Thank yourself for being here. Thank yourself for showing up, for having an open mind, an open heart. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Sealing this practice with the sound of Om. Take a cleansing breath, and we'll Om on the next exhale. Namaste. Thank you. Nice to see you again. We lost Kate at some point. You have to ask her, where'd you go? Well, I'd be curious to make sure the connection, it looks like it's still going on my side. But
We did have a problem last night with
Oh,
Blue
the
Stream.
meeting or,
Our Blue Stream called out for a little while.
oh,
last
yeah.
night.
Yeah, so I'd be curious if it was,
Oh, yeah.
if she got kicked off. That would be interesting.
See, our TV was out for over an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last night it was, last night.
Does anybody know why?
No, they sent the apology email.
Oh, right. They're fixing it, they're on it.
We're fixing it.
Second time in a week.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's not right. We go out and we're watching Gilded Age. They're gonna get calls. It's on HBO.
I've seen it,
Yeah.
but the TV went up.
No, my TV.
Oh.
Well, the streaming stations were still working, which was weird.
Oh,
So we were
you could get
watching.
Netflix,
Yeah,
you couldn't, you just couldn't get live TV or anything that you would originally take, which made no sense. Yeah, it was weird, something's wrong.
So Rose here, what's,
You want my number?
yeah,
781.
hold on one sec, I'm gonna get to it. There it is. All right.
81
Uh-huh.
223 2551.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming to that class. It was so, everyone at Love was like, wow, Nancy. You brought a lot of people in."
You know, I love the class. I'll send the photo to you too, Julia. I loved it because we had like the variety
Yeah.
and teachers and
we've
we knew
done
two
it.
of you.
We've done it like that. I know that you knew both of us. I thought Sue's part was just fabulous.
It was, and people were very excited about it.
Yeah.
So somebody just said, knew that they'd never done
I was
it.
thinking that's also gonna, it's kind of like a little taste of the different offerings.
Exactly,
that
that's,
we have,
yeah.
Which people trying something new.
Yeah.
you know.
And Rosh, who went after me, I mean, she's got her 500 hours. She's from India originally. Her sister runs like a yoga training center. And then Peggy's been a teacher for a long time. She did the yoga nidra.
You know, it's too bad that we couldn't hear her a little bit because she did.
Oh, Peggy, the last one or Rosh?
Is it pronounced Nidra?
Yeah, yoga nidra. She was hard to
Yes.
hear.
Some of the planes.
Oh, I know.
It was just the planes. There was no plane, you could hear everybody.
I know, and we've try to find a different spot for that class. And, you know, that's the busiest private airport in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's a really nice spot though.
it
It's
is.
a nice spot. I've been there before and I never noticed the lights.
Try me, they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this time of year, there's probably a lot of activity.
Oh, especially on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when I got it, it was like that.
Well, Donna, thanks for checking